suggesting that US has raised concerns with India as far as a thwarted plot of an assassination or murder of a Khalistani separatist is concerned. India is now raising concerns over what exactly the action has been taken by the United States and by Canada as far as Khalistani separatism is concerned. We're talking about Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, who's a dual citizen of the United States and Canada, who continues to issue threats against India and Indian entities. Why is no action being taken is the one-point question India is asking. Here's what we have access from our sources within the intel agencies here in India of what exactly Pannun is up to. There is a threat video that has now come out, and this is the latest one. Pannun's threat videos have now been shared with the United States and Canada by India. They have been doing this periodically. All of this intelligence has been shared with both those countries as far as the threats by Pannun and his organization Seeks for Justice is concerned. Despite enough evidence, no action has been taken so far is what India has been categorically saying. And it's not just about Canada anymore, it's also about the United States. Pannun is harming the country for his own personal gains, but both those countries are turning a blind eye to his agenda, is what Indian intelligence sources believe. India is going to be sharing fresh proof with these foreign partners and is going to be expecting action, not just words coming in from these countries. India will also ask these foreign allies to hand over Pannun to India so he can be tried here. Remember, he's wanted for several cases here in India. He is designated by the NIA as well, and yet we see him on foreign soil day after day put out these videos, threaten violence against Indians, threaten violence against the country and propagate his secessionist agenda. Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, as far as Canada is concerned, India has categorically said that they have raised this issue multiple times, but there has been inaction. Now, United States too is in that list where New Delhi has raised these issues, raised these concerns, but unfortunately we see very little in terms of action.
Poonam, strangely, the Five Eyes grouping countries where US, UK, Australia and Canada, they have been part of, strangely, in these four countries, the Khalistani issue is something that has bothered India for a long time. We have seen how India has raised the issue with Canadian authorities. The issues have been raised with UK and Australian authorities as well. USA has also been alerted for the upcoming threats and intimidation from the Khalistani groups against Indian diplomats, against Indian communities. We have seen in San Francisco, Indian mission was targeted earlier this year, and that was the second incident. Since then, there has been some security measures that the USA government has taken. But the latest revelation that comes as a reportage in Financial Times, that is apparently trying to, hint at Indian agencies' role in plotting a kill against one of the Khalistani person. And that Khalistani person is Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, who is a dreaded terrorist, who is accused in several criminal conspiracies in Indian jails and who is wanted by Indian agencies also. Now the question is why USA has been hiding, USA has been protecting such elements who have been continuously targeting Indian interests and Indian national security interests, despite India and US pledging a very strategic and very close cooperation on multi-dimensional, that includes, the security, defense, close partnership in all sphere of life. But still, yes, these issues, which are very big and very bothersome for India, they are not being handled properly by the US or the Canadian agencies. And this is what the Indian side continues to raise with these countries.
Right, do stay on with me. Security analyst Pathikrit Payne also joining us here on this broadcast. Pathikrit, this is a discussion we've had on multiple occasions as far as the inaction of countries like Canada is concerned, as far as Khalistani propaganda goes. Day after day, we see Gurpatwant Singh Pannun come out with these threat videos. India's High Commissioner to Canada is threatened. Indians travelling by Air India are threatened. And there's absolutely no action that's taken. We have both the United States and Canada, in fact, then blaming India for it.
So I've always stated this, that, whatever Canada is doing, Canada is not alone. There are bigger brothers of Canada with whose blessing Canada is doing whatever it is doing. And let me tell you, look at the double standard. Here is the United States of America, which had a program called the Extraordinary Rendition Program, under which it can go anywhere in the world and target anybody, extract anybody, neutralize anybody who has harmed American interest or killed an American. They went to Afghanistan and Pakistan. They went to kill Osama bin Laden, Qasem Soleimani, Al-Zawahiri. They can do anything, and at the same time, They would talk about war on terror, but when it suits them, they would defend terrorists. So you look at the double standards of the West when it comes to dealing with terrorism, and this is where I am reminded, even though I do not completely endorse it, but I'm reminded of what Henry Kissinger once stated, that to be America's enemy is dangerous, but to be its friend is fatal. So let me tell you this, that, United States on one hand would say that it is a strategic partner of India, which is fine. And we have great expectation from United States. But there are so many things United States also need to do and not just expect from India, when it comes to, coming over that trust. Gurbatpan Singh Pannu gives open threat of, targeting Air India flights. I mean, what different was Gurbatpan Singh Pannu doing in terms of the threats than what Al-Qaeda has done in 9/11? So when Al-Qaeda targets American interests and American planes, then the world is supposed to go and fight it in the name of war on terror, on behalf of the world. But when other interests are hurt, either you have a stoic silence on the part of the G7 countries in terms of what Canada was doing, and here is a person who holds an American citizenship. Does that give him the impunity to do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants? Hurt Indian sentiments, plan secessionist movements in India, and then America would say, no, he's an American citizen, so no one can do anything to him. I mean, this kind of hypocrisy should be exposed, and this is not expected, but unfortunately this has been the norm than an exception when it comes to the Western foreign policy towards other countries.
Yes, Pathikrit, I also want to ask you, as far as Canada and United States are concerned and the allegations that they are making about the alleged involvement of India as far as the crimes against these separatist elements in both those countries are concerned, they make these comments publicly. Shouldn't they also then publicly, A, give out proof, B, also list what kind of action they've been taking against these activities there?
Frankly, if the Americans and the Canadians had said that we will take action against these people who are harming Indian interests from their own soil, then, the Americans or the Canadians would then have had the right to tell India that, we do not expect any action from your side. But at the same time, when they're saying that India has done something or attempted, they must show that evidence. So I think it's more of a disinformation war that they are trying to put forward rather than giving evidence. But at the same time, let me again say this, there is this stoic silence which I simply do not understand. Imagine somebody from Indian soil gives threats to assassinate American presidents and American diplomats. How would America react? Here was a person who was threatening Indian diplomats, Indian ministers, prime minister, threatening to disrupt the flights. I mean, what has the Americans done? So when it comes to terrorism, and this is the reason why the West have always been reluctant to have a definition of terrorism by United Nations, because for them, terrorism is all about good terrorists and bad terrorists as per the convenience of the West. So they will never come out with an evidence, and they will continue to shield these assets, which I think are controlled assets of the deep state of the West. They use it not just against their adversaries, but even against their allies who want to emerge independent and have an independent foreign policy.
Right, Pathikrit Prem, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Abhishek, my colleague, continues to be with us on this broadcast. Sara Karta also joining us here. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. We see these allegations come to the fore, first from Canada, one that India vehemently rejected, asking only one question, where is the proof? But there is a stark difference of how India has reacted when the United States raised those concerns. We are examining those inputs, is what India said. How do you read into the kind of different reactions that we had from New Delhi?
I would like to say that if this Pannu had made such charges or such threats against the US, what will happen? Within, I think, about a couple of minutes, he would be out. He would be inside a FBI questioning center, and that's it. So there is no doubt at all that Canada and the US, I mean the US perhaps not so much, but certainly Canada, have their own standards in regarding what to do in such outrages. I mean, it's not even just a mild threat. The things that he does are absolutely outrageous on any level of international relations or international law.
Absolutely, and it is unfortunate that every single time we see these kind of attacks that take place, or we see these kind of videos that are out, there's absolute silence on what kind of action is being taken both by the United States and Canada. But Tara Karda, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18 and sharing your perspective. We are shifting focus now to the big rescue operation that has caught headlines for the last 12 days. That is in Uttarakhand. 41 laborers are still trapped. There unfortunately were some delays as far as the rescue operation went, but now there is breakthrough. The drilling has resumed. The Chief Minister is also on the spot trying to speak with the trapped laborers, keeping their morale up. It is any minute now that the rescue will conclude, is what the authorities say. Of course, the families are waiting anxiously for their loved ones to return. CNN News 18 is on ground. We will get you the latest coming in from Uttarakhand. But first, listen into this interaction between the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand and those who are trapped inside the tunnel.
अच्छा, चलिए भाई, बहुत हम लोग बिल्कुल पास पहुंच गए हैं और बड़ी आप लोगों की हिम्मत है और बहुत ही आप लोगों के लिए सब लोग प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं यहाँ। और हम लोगों को उम्मीद भी है, मैं भी रात से आ गया हूँ, जनरल साहब भी आ गए हैं यहाँ पर, और प्रधानमंत्री जी रोज़ आप लोगों के बारे में रोज़ चिंता कर रहे हैं, रोज़ अपडेट लेते हैं मुझे सवेरे 7 बजे। आज भी अभी आया है, अभी बताया है, बिल्कुल 45 मीटर से आगे हम लोग आ गए हैं और मुश्किल से 10 मीटर और आना है। बीच बीच में क्या है कि सरिया वगैरह आ जा रही है ना ये, तो हाँ, तो आप लोगों को पता ही है, थोड़ा सा ये है कि हिम्मत बता के, और किसी सबकी तबीयत वगैरह अच्छी ठीक है ना वहाँ पर? चलिए, नहीं चिंता एक्चुअली में नहीं, बहुत सब लोगों की दुआ है कि जल्दी से जल्दी सब लोग बाहर आ जाएंगे।
Any minute now that rescue is going to conclude. Unfortunately, there were delays there. CNN News 18 has been getting you the latest as far as what's transpiring there in Uttarakhand is concerned. Anshul will be joining us shortly to get us more of those details. But it's not just the NDRF and SDRF that have been employed as far as this rescue mission goes. Several international experts are also on ground. There is only one mission to ensure all 41 of those laborers who've been trapped inside that tunnel, they are rescued safe and sound. They are brought back and reunited with their families safe and sound. We will be awaiting Anshul's inputs from on ground, but listen in to some more reactions coming in.
बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स होते हैं एक ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस के लिए, वो सब अंदर भेजा गया है। आइसोलेशन, एक चीज आइसोलेशन होती है जिससे मानसिक असर होता है, साइकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट, उसको भी दूर करने के लिए साइकोसोशल काउंसलर्स वहां लाए गए हैं। और अब क्योंकि कम्युनिकेशन बन गया है प्रॉपर, पहले तो एक क्रूड कम्युनिकेशन मेगाफोन के जरिए और पाइप के जरिए था, अब तो लाइन के जरिए वो कम्युनिकेशन बन गया है और डायरेक्ट बात हो रही है वहां से। तो उसकी वजह से साइकोसोशल काउंसलर्स जो है उन्होंने उनसे बात भी की है वर्कर्स के साथ। जगह जगह से जो रिसोर्सेस आ रहे थे, ड्रिलिंग मशीन्स आ रही थी 4 अलग अलग दिशाओं से इसको अप्रोच करने के लिए, वो मशीनें अभी भी आ रही हैं। जैसे ये मशीनें पहुंचेंगी वो कोशिशें भी शुरू हो जाएंगी।
सुनील नप्रभाव joining us live from Uttarakhand, getting us the latest now. सुनील, हमको बताइए रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन अभी किस चरण पे है, क्या बता रहे हैं वहां पे जो रेस्क्यूअर्स हैं, और कितना टाइम लग सकता है?
देखिए, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन अपने पूरी तेज गति से संचालित हो रहा है। मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी कल से ही उत्तरकाशी में डेरा डाले हुए हैं। आज उन्होंने बाकायदा ऑपरेशन साइट का निरीक्षण किया, जो श्रमिक अंदर फंसे हुए हैं उनसे लाइव बातचीत की, उनका हालचाल जाना, और मुख्यमंत्री ने सभी जो एजेंसियां हैं उनसे भी पूरा अपडेट लिया और उनको जरूरी आवश्यक दिशा निर्देश भी दिए। यहाँ तक कि मुख्यमंत्री ने खुद उत्तरकाशी में अपना कैंप कार्यालय बना लिया है, और जब तक ये पूरा ऑपरेशन सफल नहीं हो जाता, जो श्रमिक 41 श्रमिक वहाँ पर फंसे हुए हैं वो बाहर नहीं आ जाते, तब तक मुख्यमंत्री मौके पर ही डटे रहेंगे। जो जानकारी दी जा रही है कि ऑपरेशन कभी भी अपने अंजाम को पहुँच सकता है, यानी कि जो टनल है वो ब्रेक थ्रू हो सकती है, मलबे के आर पार टनल हो सकती है, और ये उम्मीद जताई जा रही है कि जल्द ही जो श्रमिक वहाँ पर फंसे हैं उनको सकुशल बाहर निकाल लिया जाएगा।
जी, क्या ये ऑपरेशन जो चल रहा है ये अंतिम चरणों में है ऐसा बताया जा रहा है, क्या ये आज रात के अंदर शायद कंप्लीट हो जाए या कुछ और टाइम लगेगा? आपको क्या जानकारी मिल रही है वहाँ से?
देखिए, बिल्कुल उम्मीद यही जताई जा रही है कि ऑपरेशन कभी भी सफल हो सकता है अगर कोई बाधाएं न आए, क्योंकि पहले ये संभावना जताई जा रही थी कल जिस तरह से कि देर रात में ब्रेक थ्रू हो जाएगा, लेकिन अचानक से जो आगे बाधाएं आई वहां पर लोहे की सरिया और अन्य जो ठोस चीजें मशीन के आगे आई, उसके चलते कुछ दिक्कतें हुई। ऑपरेशन कई घंटों तक लटका रहा, लेकिन एक बार फिर तेज गति से ऑपरेशन संचालित हो रहा है और ये उम्मीद जताई जा रही है कि कभी भी पूरे ऑपरेशन में सफलता हासिल हो सकती है।
Ji, Sunil, धन्यवाद for getting us the latest from on ground there. Rescue operations are going on a war footing. Unfortunately, it has taken longer than expected, but we are not giving up until every single person out of those 41 trapped are safe and sound and are reunited with their families. That's really the kind of intention that not just the rescuers have, but the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister of this country also do. Listen in to some more reactions.
एनडीआरएफ के लड़के पहले से तैयार हैं और हमारी रिहर्सल चल रही है उन सब स्थितियों के लिए जो हमारे सामने आ सकती हैं। उसके लिए हमने स्पेशल इक्विपमेंट तैयार किया हुआ है ताकि जैसे ही रास्ता खुलता है हम जल्द से जल्द उनको बाहर निकाल पाएं। तो पूरी टीमें तैयार हैं, पूरी स्ट्रेंथ में हम लोग यहाँ पे हैं और आशा है कि उनको जल्दी हम पूरा सुरक्षित बाहर निकाल पाएंगे।
ये अंदर जो कार्य चल रहा है, जैसा मैंने बताया, तकनीकी चुनौतियां आ रही हैं, तो उनको हैंडल करने के लिए और सुरक्षा को ध्यान में रखते हुए कार्य हो रहा है। और इसी बीच कई बार जहां पे कोई विशेषज्ञों की राय लेनी पड़ती है या कोई स्किल्ड मैन पावर की आवश्यकता पड़ती है, तो उसको तत्काल यहां बुलाया जा रहा है ताकि जो हमें ऑब्स्टेकल्स या हर्डल्स जो काम करने वाले लोग हैं उनके सामने आ रहे हैं उनको ओवरकम किया जा सके। देखिए, हम रोज एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि ये आज पूरा हो, अभी पूरा हो, कल पूरा हो, तो परंतु इस तरह समय तय करना किसी के लिए भी अभी संभव नहीं है, क्योंकि चुनौतियां अब समय समय पे परिवर्तित हो जाती हैं। कई बार कोई नई समस्या आती है, पर कार्य लगातार, मैं आपको एश्योर कर सकता हूं कि कार्य लगातार चल रहा है और उसकी मॉनिटरिंग उच्चतम स्तर से दोनों राज्य सरकार और भारत सरकार के स्तर से हो रही है।
45 मीटर हो गया है। मैं ट्रेचलेस का स्टाफ हूँ। 45 मीटर हो गया है और पाइप 45 मीटर हो चुका है। पाइप के आगे जाल और स्टील और क्या नाम है 3 इंची का पाइप था, इसलिए पाइप को होल्ड कर लिया था और उसको हम लोगों ने काटा है, काट के क्लियर किया है। ऑक्सीजन की काफी कमी थी, मैं काफी परेशान हूँ। 3 घंटे अंदर रहा मैं, 3 घंटे कंटिन्यू। हाँ, 3 घंटे।
Well, the rescue operations are continuing there and CNN News 18 is keeping a track of the minute-by-minute updates as they come in. Lots more lined up for you here on this edition, but for now, it's time for a quick break.
Yes, there are several major obstacles for the rescue team. As I mentioned, that there is an 800 millimeter pipe, and you can imagine 2.7 feet in diameter, which is 2.7 feet in diameter, and in that, a person from the NDRF has to go inside that with hydraulic cutters and try to go ahead and cut through the heavy metal pipes that have been encountered by the rescuers at this point in time. So until and unless that is cut through, there is no way out for the workers at this point in time. Because remember, the other plans that were in place, the work on those plans had stopped because the rescuers felt that they have come very, very close to their destination, and hence the other plans were put on a temporary halt. Also, the kind of seismic activities that were happening because of the other plans, the blasts that were happening on the other end of the tunnel, or the leveling of surface that was happening on the vertical end of the tunnel, all that was stopped, and the work was ongoing from the Silkyara end of the tunnel, where it was being tried that people who are stuck inside
they could be taken out without any harm. So that is the biggest challenge at this point in time. These 4 to 5 metal sheets that has been encountered. This is proving to be an Herculean task for the rescuers who have been working round the clock 24/7 for the last 12 days, making sure that the mental health condition or the other conditions, physical health condition of the people remain intact. So yes, we are expecting that within the next few hours, this entire operation might come to an end as well. But yes, the next few sheets that are over here, these needs to be encountered at the earliest.
All right, Anshul, please stay with us. Now, we'll just quickly walk you through the rescue plan that is underway in Uttarakhand to rescue the 41 stranded workers. Now, the workers are trapped at 260 meters inside the tunnel, and in the tunnel, the debris is up to 60 meters. So, the workers are at 260 meters inside the tunnel, and the debris is up to 60 meters. Whereas, if you talk about the buffer room that the workers have, that is almost 2 kilometers, and the horizontal drilling that is happening in Uttarakhand by the rescue teams, that is happening up to 40 meters. So these are the latest details as far as the rescue operations that are underway in Uttarakhand are concerned. And we have Anshul Singh with us from the ground. Anshul, also has any communication been established with the workers recently?
So yes, communication has been established. We have been reporting on this for the last 2 days, that how communication has already been established, be it the video or the audio communication that has already been established. In fact, the doctors have also spoken to each and every person who is stuck inside, making sure that their mental and physical health remains intact, and that is a good thing that all of them are absolutely safe. Even if people had complained of anything, they have been given the requisite medicines as well. So yes, the situation inside the tunnel is absolutely safe. The people inside the tunnel are absolutely safe. There is constant communication that is happening. In fact, the communication has been happening from day one itself. We have been reporting from over here from the last 11 days that how communication channels have already been established. So yes, the only thing that is now left, we are in the last leg of this rescue operation, and we are expecting that within the next few hours we can get that breakthrough that we have been waiting to see for the last 11 days now.
And now we get you the latest update from Uttarakhand, where the rescue operation is on. Now what we're learning is that 45-meter has been drilled through and 15-meter remains to be drilled to rescue the workers who are stranded inside the tunnel. Remember, 41 workers have been stranded since November 12th. And the rescue operation is on. The operation is in the final stage, and what we are learning is that 45-meter of the tunnel has been drilled through and 15-meter remains to be drilled. So in total, 60-meter needed to be drilled, out of which 45-meter has already been drilled through and 15 meters still remains to be drilled to rescue the 41 stranded workers. We have CNN News 18's Anshul Singh joining us from the ground, getting us all the latest details. Anshul, what is the current situation, and how much more time can we expect it to take for the workers to be out of the tunnel?
Well, that is a million-dollar question. That is a question that everyone is asking. How much more time will it take for the people to finally come out of the tunnel in which they have been trapped for the last 12 days now? Now remember, after the 45-meter mark was reached by the rescuers, there was a surprise press conference that happened in which the rescuers were very, very confident that they will be able to get through towards the other side of the debris and make sure that all these people are taken out in the next 15 hours. That is, it was expected that by midnight, each and every person would be taken out safely. But yes, the last hurdle, the last hurdle has come up. It seems there are at least 4 to 5 metal pieces that have now been encountered by the rescuers in the tunneling operation. And remember, these are 800mm pipes through which this entire operation is now being carried out. NDRF team has been sent inside the 800mm pipe with hydraulic cutters, and through those hydraulic cutters, the metal is being tried to cut, and there has been very little to no success that the rescuers have been able to find in that, and that is the reason why we are seeing that the drilling process has stopped at almost 45 meters. What the rescuers expect that within the once the metal is cut through them, they will be able to drill in at least 2 pipes, which means that from anywhere from 12 to 10 to 12 meters is left for them to breach that entire debris. So yes, the next few hours are going to be interesting. But yes, the NDRF team since late last evening have been trying to cut through that steel pipes and steel rods that they have encountered. But yes, that is proving to be a big task, because you can imagine that it is just an 800 millimeter diameter pipe, and if you convert it to feet, it's just 2.7 feet in diameter, and in that a person has to crawl through with machines and then go ahead and try to cut those heavy metal sheets. And as they are cutting it, there are fumes.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. There's some more breaking news that's coming in now, and this is a super scoop that we have for you here on CNN News 18, and this is China's hypocrisy as far as the cause of Muslims is concerned. We all know the kind of persecution that happens as far as Uyghur Muslims in China is concerned, but China wants to come out and lecture the world for the Palestinian cause. Well, now there's more proof as far as China's hypocrisy is concerned. The Human Rights Watch has now claimed that the Chinese government is closing a vast number of mosques, not just in Xinjiang, but in other provinces as well. The US-based watchdog has claimed that this crackdown is part of a systematic effort to curb the practice of Islam in China. Let's get you the details of what this report has actually flagged as far as China and its crackdown or alleged crackdown against Muslims and their places of worship are concerned. The charge that the Human Rights Watch report makes is that China is closing, destroying and repurposing these mosques outside of the Xinjiang province as well. They are also trying to persecute the minorities there. Systematic efforts to curb the practice of Islam is taking place in 2 different provinces other than Xinjiang. These mosques are being shut, and these are the 2 provinces that this watchdog report has come out and highlighted now. Islamic features like domes and minarets from these buildings are being removed so that they do not look like mosques, they do not look like places of worship. That's really the attempt that the Chinese are after. In Xinjiang, 2/3 of mosques have already been destroyed in the last few years, is the allegation this US-based organization has now come out and made. This is China's real face. This report in fact has come just 2 days after Arab world leaders were in China. China was the host there, and they all discussed the Palestinian cause and how China must apply pressure there. But what about the Muslim community in China? What happens to them? Those are the questions perhaps these Arab leaders did not ask of Xi Jinping. But here's what India is doing, and this is how India views this entire thing. This is what we've learned from our top sources within the government, that China is hosting these Muslim leaders for their Palestinian cause, but this cause has been completely, the lid of that has been completely blown off. China is pushing Muslims into concentration camps. We knew about this as far as the Xinjiang province is concerned, but there's much more to it, is what China believes, is what India believes. China is consolidating these Muslims in smaller rural areas, is what government sources have now told us. China is aiming to erase identity and history of Muslims from the entire country, and that is the entire game plan. It is not what China claims is a systematic crackdown and on criminal activity. It in fact is a systematic cleansing, as many of the UN bodies have also pointed out in the past. Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, the hypocrisy of the Chinese government is extremely stark. There's no 2 ways about it, isn't it?
Well, the Chinese has double standard on these ethnic minorities and Muslim population, especially in Xinjiang, has been long known and documented by various agencies around the globe. In fact, the World Human Rights Council has also noted the violation of basic human rights by the Chinese authorities, their right to religious freedom, and many such issues that have been, criticized and condemned by the world. But it is a bit ironical that the majority, senior Arab leaders, representative of many countries from the Muslim world, were in China recently, and they did talk about issues of Palestine. They did talk about the ceasefire issues and how China could help in that, but they did not underline the fact that Chinese themselves have been one of the major, perpetrators against Muslim communities in China. And this is not the first time. We have seen that about 50% of mosques in Xinjiang has either been demolished or has been converted. There reports that Muslims are not allowed to practice their religion. They are not allowed to pray. There has been reports of people being summarily imprisoned for just practicing their religion. So there have been multiple violations that has been documented, and but the Chinese authorities continues in their belligerence without caring much for the world opinion of this issue.
Right. If you could also take us through, Abhishek, some of the highlights. We've already put out some of the facts that this US-based organization has now put out as to how China is trying to erase the entire identity of Islam from their country. And this goes beyond the Xinjiang province. There are two other provinces where China is trying to do the same thing.
Well, what China has always aspired, a homogeneous country, a country which will not have much of diversity. They will think alike, they will live alike, and they will behave alike. And in that context, this Muslim ethnicity is something that has always bothered them. The recent documentation suggests that Chinese authorities have decommissioned or closed down and converted mosques for secular use as part of the government's efforts to restrict the practice of Islam. They have also removed Islamic architectural features such as domes and minarets from many other mosques, so that no sign or no blaring sign of these mosques are there, and people are not noticing where these mosques are. And according to Ningxia Human Rights Watch, they have verified and analyzed several videos and pictures posted online by Muslims and these ethnic minorities who have been living there or who have been able to smuggle out those video footages, and they suggest that that these violations have been going on for years, and they continue despite China claiming that no such things have been happening in these regions.
Right, Abhishek, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that. We are shifting focus now to the other big issue that has been gripping the world, and that is of deepfake. How do you identify what exactly is a deepfake? We'll get you details of that, but that is a threat that the world is waking up to, and India is no different. We had the Prime Minister speak about it just a short while ago. In fact, we'll get you more details of that, but shifting focus now to the Prime Minister who is in Mathura.
और उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री ने किस तरह से यहाँ पर पूजा अर्चना की, उससे जुड़ी हुई तस्वीरें हम आपके साथ साझा कर रहे हैं। अजय मिश्रा हमारे सहयोगी हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं। अजय, प्रधानमंत्री यहाँ पर पहुंच चुके हैं, पूजा अर्चना भी उन्होंने की, क्या ताजा जानकारी, क्या अपडेट आपके पास?
इससे पहले आपको बताएं कि यहाँ पर 4 मंदिर प्रांगण हैं और सभी चारों मंदिर प्रांगणों में जाकर के प्रधानमंत्री ने इस ऐतिहासिक मौके पर, जो कि आज देवोत्थान एकादशी का पर्व है, आज तुलसी विवाह का बहुत ही शुभ अवसर है और आज सांध्य बेला में ये बहुत ही पवित्र दर्शन माना जाता है और विशेष तौर पर सारी तैयारियां की गई थी प्रधानमंत्री के इस पूजन कार्यक्रम के लिए। सबसे पहले वो जैसे ही मंदिर परिसर में घुसे हैं, सबसे पहले आदिकेशव भगवान का जो मंदिर है, बाएं तरफ जैसे ही आप जन्मभूमि की ओर प्रवेश करते हैं सीढ़ियां चढ़ने के बाद, तो उसमें उन्होंने भगवान श्री कृष्ण के दर्शन किए। ये सबसे प्राचीन मूर्ति मानी जाती है। ऐसा माना जाता है कि कृष्ण जन्मभूमि के बाहर परिसर में ये मूर्ति रखी हुई थी, बहुत प्राचीन मंदिर में, जहां से ले आकर के यहाँ पर महामना मदन मोहन मालवीय जी की प्रेरणा से इस आदिकेशव मंदिर को बाद में बसाया गया और इस मूर्ति को स्थापित किया गया। बहुत ही प्रसिद्ध मूर्ति है यहाँ पर आदिकेशव भगवान की, और कहते हैं कि आदिकेशव भगवान के दर्शन के बिना कृष्ण जन्मभूमि का जो दर्शन है वो इसका साफल्य पूरा नहीं होता है। तो और उसमें आप देखेंगे कि श्री राधा जी बहुत ही इनकी छोटी सी मूर्ति विद्यमान है, केवल आदिकेशव आपको दर्शन देते हैं। उसके बाद दूसरा पड़ाव था प्रधानमंत्री का योग माया मंदिर में। योग माया वही कन्या।
These visuals coming in on your screens are from the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple in Mathura, where the Prime Minister is offering his prayers. He's also going to be at the Bake Bihari temple in a short while from now. Arun, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details of what's to expect for the Prime Minister in the coming few hours. Arun, this is the Prime Minister's visit to Mathura, to the birthplace of Lord Krishna after 3 decades, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's right, and this is for the very first time we are seeing any Prime Minister visiting, this temple of Lord Shri Krishna, and of course the birthplace of Lord Shri Krishna. And Prime Minister Modi we saw offering his prayers at the temple, and of course today's evening is going to be very special for Prime Minister Modi, because he is going to participate in the program of Sant Mirabai right after the darshan at Shri Krishna temple. In fact, the member of parliament from Mathura, Hema Malini, will also be performing at this program, where Prime Minister Modi, of course, will be in attendance. And it is the birth anniversary of Mirabai, for which Prime Minister Modi is going to be there, and of course he will be addressing the gathering of the people there who are present there, and of course it is a special moment for the people of Mathura as well, because this visit of Prime Minister Modi has been pending for a very long time. In fact, a member of Parliament from the constituency, Hema Malini, was trying to organize a program where Prime Minister Modi could participate. So it took a while for the entire things to shape in the form of this, where Prime Minister Modi himself reaching and participating in the program of Mirabai. And of course, then he will be addressing the gathering. And this visit is also important before the 2024 Lok Sabha elections as well. And as Hema Malini has also made it clear that she is interested in contesting again if party gives her ticket, because she is already completing that criteria of 75 75 age. So we'll have to see what happens in that way. But of course, it is a very good moment for the people of Mathura when Prime Minister Modi will be speaking to them and with them and participating in this program of Mirabai.
Absolutely, a commemorative coin is also going to be released by the Prime Minister during that event. This is the Brajraj Utsav that the Prime Minister is going to be a part of. The Member of Parliament of Mathura, Hema Malini, is going to be there as well. And there is also a cultural performance by the Member of Parliament herself that is expected, a cultural extravaganza in Mathura in just a short while from now. What's also important, Arun, is that there are hopes from the Prime Minister that there could be some announcement as far as the Bake Bihari corridor is concerned when he takes to the podium later today.
Well, see, the place is also very special because we know about the controversy, if we talk about that as well, about the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi, and that is being contested in the courts as well by various petitions. So in this regard, Prime Minister's visit is also important to visit the Lord Krishna's temple there, which is of course right beside the masjid, Shahidgah Masjid, and that has been a big issue. And of course, when Prime Minister Modi is there, as you also spoke about the commemorative coin that he's going to launch there, apart from that, of course, Prime Minister Modi's address is going to be very crucial and important as to what sort of things he's going to give the people of Mathura. And as I already mentioned, that the visit of Prime Minister Modi was long pending and long due for Mathura, and it happens to it happens on that day when it is the birth anniversary of Mirabai. So Prime Minister Modi not only participating in that cultural program where Hema Malini will be presenting, but also he will be addressing the gathering of the people. So that is also going to be very interesting as to what Prime Minister Modi is going to speak to the people of Mathura. When he was there in Mathura last time, few years back, he spoke about the connect that he has with this land. So perhaps we are expecting he'll be speaking on the same line, and of course what sort of announcement that he's going to make for the people of Mathura, that is also going to be very interesting to see.
Absolutely. Developmental works in Mathura is something that the Prime Minister could announce. All eyes will be on those announcements when the Prime Minister addresses the gathering. But there is going to be a cultural evening that the residents of Mathura and all those who are travelling to Mathura over this weekend are awaiting. Actually, it is a performance by the Member of Parliament of Mathura, Hema Malini. There are about 800 more artists from across the country who are also going to be participating in this Brajraj Utsav, where the Prime Minister is going to be in a short while from now. Several movies that have shown the life of Mirabai are also going to be showcased over the next few days in several theatres across Mathura. That is also the plan. So it is not just for today, Arun, but we are going to be seeing events that have been scheduled by the UP government for the next couple of days.
Well, that's right. It's a 2-3 days program which will take place, and of course various things and programs will take place during this period. As we know that UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has already reached there. He has, in fact, he was there yesterday. He, visited the entire area where the programs will be conducted for the next 2 days. He had taken all the briefs that how this entire program of 2-3 days will be going, will be like, and what are the programs which will be part of this festival there. And of course, the presence of Prime Minister Modi is making it very, very special. And of course, he is the one who's going to inaugurate this, Braj festival. And then, of course, we'll see various documentaries and films will be shown in this. Various other program stalls are there about specific things from different areas which will be highlighted there. People will have the opportunity to actually see them and also to know their city, about the works and the other important things, other important aspects of Mathura, and of course the life of Mirabai. So that all will be presented in this Braj Fest, which will of course be inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi, and then of course various other programs are planned for this fest.
Right, the Prime Minister there just exiting the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple. He is going to be heading towards the railway grounds where the event is expected to begin in just a short while from now. He of course is flanked by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Member of Parliament for Mathura, Hema Malini is also there. A cultural extravaganza is planned over the next few hours. The Prime Minister is going to be addressing the gathering as well. Surendra Jain of the VHP is joining us here on this broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. How important, according to you, is this Prime Minister's visit? It's after 32 years that Prime Minister Modi is at the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple.
राम मनोहर लोहिया ने कहा था कि राम, कृष्ण और शिव ये भारत की आत्मा है और भारत को जोड़ते हैं। बिना इन तीनों स्थानों पर गए, बिना इन तीनों के उपदेशों को पोषित किए भारत का विकास संभव नहीं है। तो वास्तव में वहां जाकर उन्होंने भारत की आत्मा को पोषित किया है और मैं समझता हूं ये किसी भी प्रधानमंत्री को ये बात ध्यान में रखनी ही चाहिए थी। जो आजादी के तुरंत बाद सरदार पटेल ने सोमनाथ मंदिर के नवीनीकरण के समय किया था और एक अच्छा काम किया है। देश की आत्मा प्रसन्न हो रही है।
सुरेंद्र जैन जी, काशी विश्वनाथ का जो कॉरिडोर बना, उसके बाद उज्जैन महाकाल का कॉरिडोर बना, अब ये इच्छा है डिवोटीज की, मथुरा वासियों की कि बाकी बिहारी कॉरिडोर भी बने। अब तो कोर्ट ने भी कह दिया है कि उसका काम जल्द से शुरू हो जाना चाहिए। क्या आपकी आशा है, अपेक्षा है प्रधानमंत्री जी से कि आज शायद उस चीज पे कोई अनाउंसमेंट हो?
आज अनाउंसमेंट होगी कि नहीं मुझे नहीं मालूम, लेकिन ये पक्का है कि मथुरा कॉरिडोर उसी तर्ज के ऊपर बनेगा जिस तर्ज के ऊपर आखिर भगवान बुद्ध के लिए भी बनाया है, महावीर के लिए भी बनाया है। तो इसलिए वैसे ही तर्ज पर यहाँ भी बनेगा और करोड़ों हिंदुओं की आस्थाएं प्रसन्न होंगी।
सुरेंद्र जैन जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। हियर ऑन CNN News 18, द प्राइम मिनिस्टर देयर इज इन मथुरा. ही इज offering his prayers at the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple. He is the first Prime Minister to ever do so. He himself is visiting the place after 3 decades. It is of utmost importance for him personally. Also high on symbolism as far as this entire visit goes, because we're talking about developmental works for Mathura as well. We are going to be seeing Hema Malini and a cultural performance by several other artists in just a short while from now. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, is present with the Prime Minister. The Governor of the state is also with them as they first offer prayers and then, of course, commemorate the life of Mirabai. Yatendra Sharma joining us live from Mathura, from inside the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple. In fact, जरा हमें बताइए वहाँ का माहौल क्या है? प्रधानमंत्री जी अभी बस निकले हैं कृष्ण जन्मभूमि से और कुछ ही देर में कार्यक्रम के लिए प्रस्थान करेंगे।
देखिए बिल्कुल जन्मभूमि जो श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि है वहाँ से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी निकल चुके हैं और जो कार्यक्रम जो रेलवे ग्राउंड है रेलवे ग्राउंड वहाँ पर कार्यक्रम के लिए अब से कुछ देर में वहाँ पर पहुँच जाएंगे। यहाँ पर जो बीजेपी की सांसद हैं मथुरा से हेमा मालिनी वो वहाँ पर अपनी नृत्य नाटिका प्रस्तुत करेंगी और जो संत मीराबाई हैं उनके जन्मदिन पर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी 525 का एक सिक्का जारी करेंगे क्योंकि 525 का सिक्का इसलिए क्योंकि मीराबाई की जन्म जयंती को 525 साल हो गए हैं, तो ऐसे में एक स्मारक का जो टिकट है वो भी जारी की जाएगी। लेकिन जहाँ तक माहौल की बात है मैं ठीक श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि के बाहर खड़ा हूँ, गेट नंबर 1 जो मुख्य गेट है हम यहाँ पर हैं और अब से कुछ देर पहले ही प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी यहाँ से पूजा अर्चना करके निकले हैं। ये इस बात से भी इसके मायने इस बात से भी महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि आज़ाद भारत का पहला कोई प्रधानमंत्री जो प्रधानमंत्री रहते हुए श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि पर पहुंचा वो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी। इससे पहले कोई भी प्रधानमंत्री श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि में दर्शन करने नहीं पहुंचे। ये पहले प्रधानमंत्री हैं जो अपने पद पर रहते हुए श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि के दर्शन करने पहुंचे। यहाँ पर विधिवत तौर पर उन्होंने पूजा अर्चना की और इसका जो राजनीतिक पहलू है वो भी मैं आपको बता दूं क्योंकि राजस्थान की चुनाव प्रचार की समय सीमा आज खत्म हो गई और राजस्थान का सीधा संबंध मीराबाई से है। मीराबाई वहाँ के राजघराने से आती हैं और एक बड़ा प्रभाव कृष्ण भक्तों का वहाँ पर देखने को मिलता है, मीराबाई के भक्तों का वहाँ पर देखने को मिलता है। तो ऐसे में जो मैसेज जाएगा वो वहाँ पर चुनावी जो वोटर हैं उनको भी कहीं ना कहीं प्रभावित करेगा। तो जो विरासत संस्कृति की जो विरासत यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रही है वो राजनीतिक तौर पर उसका प्रभाव भी वहाँ पर देखने को मिलेगा। कई लोग यहाँ पर हैं जो प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को देखने के लिए आए थे। क्या लगता है आपको प्रधानमंत्री मोदी यहाँ पर आए कुछ फायदा मिलेगा?
हाँ फायदा मिलेगा, बहुत बड़ा फायदा मिलेगा और मोदी जी बहुत अच्छे प्रभाव रहेगा और अच्छा काम किया है और बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट होगा।
तो जन्मभूमि पर आने का क्या मकसद क्या लगता है? केवल भक्ति भाव से यहाँ पर आए?
हाँ नहीं भक्ति भाव के आए हैं और यहाँ बहुत बड़ा अच्छा हिसाब किताब है, बहुत सरकार ने काम किया है और आगे भी डबल इंजन सरकार बहुत अच्छा काम करेगी। राधे राधे।
हम तो ब्रजवासी बड़े खुश हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी हमारे ब्रज में पधारे और पूरे मथुरा में प्रधानमंत्री जी आने का बहुत ज़्यादा स्वागत किया जा रहा है।
ब्रज में पधारने से यहाँ के जो भक्त हैं यहाँ के जो लोग हैं वो खुश हैं क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री ऐसे तो मथुरा 4 बार आए लेकिन जन्मभूमि पर आने वाले वो पहले प्रधानमंत्री बने हैं। और बड़ी बात यही है कि अभी तक इससे पहले कोई भी प्रधानमंत्री जन्मभूमि पर नहीं आया और जो केंद्र जो धुरी के 2 केंद्र कहे जाते हैं उत्तर प्रदेश में अयोध्या यानी कि अवध और मथुरा यानी कि ब्रज, और दोनों ही केंद्रों पर प्रधानमंत्री की छाप यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रही है। और उसके आने वाले समय में जब 2024 का चुनाव होगा तो इसका प्रभाव उन 24 के चुनाव में भी देखने को मिलेगा।
जी बिल्कुल, राजनीतिक तौर पे क्या प्रभाव उसका पड़ता है ये तो देखा जाएगा ही, बट एट द मोमेंट इट इज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हु इज इन मथुरा. वी आर गोइंग टू बी सीइंग अ कल्चरल एक्सट्रावेगेंजा in Mathura there in just a short while from now. We'll be cutting across to that. Before now, it's time for a quick break here on this edition of Nation at 5.
Brought to you by
out of it, there is fire that comes out of it, and hence you can imagine how challenging is this task at this point in time, and that is the reason why we are seeing that it has been almost 8 hours that this entire operation of cutting through that metal sheet is ongoing at this point in time. When will they get success? That is a big question mark. But yes, the rescuers are positive that by today they will be able to make that final step and make sure that all these people are taken out at safety.
Right, Anshul. Also, the nation is praying for the safety of the 41 workers, and we're right now getting you the latest visuals from Uttarakhand. Well, Anshul, if you could also shed some light on the major obstacles for the rescue teams right now.
So yes, there are several major obstacles for the rescue team. As I mentioned, that there is an 800mm pipe, and you can imagine 2.7 feet in diameter, which is 2.7 feet in diameter, and in that person from the NDRF has to go inside that with hydraulic cutters and try to go ahead and cut through the heavy metal pipes that have been encountered by the rescuers at this point in time. So until and unless that is cut through, there is no way out for the workers at this point in time. Because remember, the other plans that were in place, the work on those plans had stopped because the rescuers felt that they have come very, very close to their destination, and hence the other plans were put on a temporary halt. Also, the kind of seismic activities that were happening because of the other plants, the blasts that were happening on the other end of the tunnel, or the leveling of surface that was happening on the vertical end of the tunnel, all that was stopped, and the work was ongoing from the Silkyara end of the tunnel, where it was being tried that people who are stuck inside, they could be taken out without any harm. So that is the biggest challenge at this point in time. These 4 to 5 metal sheets that has been encountered, this is proving to be an Herculean task for the rescuers who have been working round the clock 24/7 for the last 12 days, making sure that the mental health condition or the other conditions, physical health condition of the people remain intact. So yes, we are expecting that within the next few hours, this entire operation might come to an end as well. But yes, the next few sheets that are over here, these needs to be encountered at the earliest.
All right, Anshul, please stay with us. Now, we'll just quickly walk you through the rescue plan that is underway in Uttarakhand to rescue the 41 stranded workers. Now, the workers are trapped at 260 meters inside the tunnel, and in the tunnel, the debris is up to 60 meters. So, the workers are at 260 meters inside the tunnel, and the debris is up to 60 meters. Whereas, if we talk about the buffer room that the workers have, that is almost 2 kilometers, and the horizontal drilling that is happening in Uttarakhand by the rescue teams, that is happening up to 40 meters. So these are the latest details as far as the rescue operations that are underway in Uttarakhand are concerned. And we have Anshul Singh with us from the ground. Anshul, also has any communication been established with the workers recently?
So yes, communication has been established. We have been reporting on this for the last 2 days, how communication has already been established, be it the video or the audio communication that has already been established. In fact, the doctors have also spoken to each and every person who is stuck inside, making sure that their mental and physical health remains intact, and that is a good thing that all of them are absolutely safe. Even if people had complained of anything, they have been given the requisite medicines as well. So yes, the situation inside the tunnel is absolutely safe. The people inside the tunnel are absolutely safe. There is constant communication that is happening. In fact, the communication has been happening from day one itself. We have been reporting from over here from the last 11 days that how communication channels have already been established. So yes, the only thing that is now left, we are in the last leg of this rescue operation, and we are expecting that within the next few hours we can get that breakthrough that we have been waiting to see for the last 11 days now.
And now we get you the latest update from Uttarakhand, where the rescue operation is on. Now what we're learning is that 45 meter has been drilled through and 15 meter remains to be drilled to rescue the workers who are stranded inside the tunnel. Remember, 41 workers have been stranded since November 12th. And the rescue operation is on. The operation is in the final stage, and what we are learning is that 45 meter of the tunnel has been drilled through and 15 meter remains to be drilled. So in total 60 meter needed to be drilled, out of which 45 meter has already been drilled through and 15 meters still remains to be drilled to rescue the 41 stranded workers. We have CNN News 18's Anshul Singh joining us from the ground, getting us all the latest details. Anshul, what is the current situation, and how much more time can we expect it to take for the workers to be out of the tunnel?
Well, that is a $1 million question. That is a question that everyone is asking. How much more time will it take for the people to finally come out of the tunnel in which they have been trapped for the last 12 days now? Now remember, after the 45 meter mark was breached by the rescuers, there was a surprise press conference that happened in which the rescuers were very, very confident that they will be able to get through towards the other side of the debris and make sure that all these people are taken out in the next 15 hours. That is, it was expected that by midnight, each and every person would be taken out safely. But yes, the last hurdle, the last hurdle has come up. It seems there are at least 4 to 5 metal pieces that have now been encountered by the rescuers in the tunneling operation. And remember, these are 800 millimeter pipes through which this entire operation is now being carried out. NDRF team has been sent inside the 800mm pipe with hydraulic cutters, and through those hydraulic cutters, the metal is being tried to cut, and there has been very little to no success that the rescuers have been able to find in that, and that is the reason why we are seeing that the drilling process has stopped at almost 45 meters. What the rescuers expect that within the once the metal is cut through, then they will be able to drill in at least 2 pipes, which means that from anywhere from 10 to 12 meters is left for.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5, and there's some breaking news that's coming in. India is tackling the deepfake threat, and there is a meeting that is being held by the Union IT Ministry. We saw one half of the meeting take place today. The second half is going to take place tomorrow as well. Now Google has come out and released a statement where they have expressed appreciation as far as government's efforts are concerned to put safeguards in place. Ananya, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Ananya, what more can you tell us as far as Google's stance is concerned?
Well, definitely, it's a very, very important statement, Poonam, that has come in from the biggest tech giant across the world, and very, very clearly they've said that, they appreciate the government of India's efforts when it comes to, conducting a meeting and to know, about the safeguard that can be adopted when it comes to, the negative use of AI, and especially what we are seeing, whether in the case of Smriti Mandhana, whether we see in the case of Sarah Tendulkar, or one of the most criminally cases, that is of Rashmika Mandhana, when the whole matter actually began. So very, very clearly, and I read down some portions of that particular statement for our viewers, is that Google spokesperson goes on to say that we appreciate the opportunity to meet with the government, jointly with the industry stakeholders, to discuss the need to develop safeguard around synthetic content, ensure how, building tools and guardrails to address associated risks. We are committed to continue the collaboration and share our expertise and knowledge towards our collective goal of responsible AI development. It also goes on to say that Google, which is which is developing various AI-driven technology and products, is going to, completely implement those safeguards and to make it in such a way that only a positive use of such tools can actually happen.
Right, this is the first response from one of the tech giants that has come to the fore. There were several other stakeholders who are also going to be part of these negotiations and these consultations that the central government is undertaking. For the moment, Ananya, thank you so much for getting us the latest. But India, much like the world, is waking up to this threat and is acting upon it. A regulatory framework would be put in place, was the confirmation that came to the fore from the Union IT Minister. This also comes just a day after Prime Minister Modi at G20 virtual summit went on to confirm that this is a threat that we must jointly fight, because AI must work for the safety and security of society of the entire world. Listen in to those reactions.
We had a meeting of all the social media platforms today and the companies which are leaders in AI tools, and NASSCOM and professors from the field of AI, and we had long and a very candid discussion. We have all agreed that within next about 10 days we will come up with clear actionable items on 4 pillars. First is detection, second is prevention, third is strengthening the reporting mechanism, fourth is awareness.
आज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के युग में टेक्नोलॉजी को रिस्पॉन्सिबल तरीके से उपयोग में लाने की जरूरत है। पूरी दुनिया में एआई के नेगेटिव यूज को लेकर चिंता बढ़ रही है। भारत की स्पष्ट सोच है कि एआई के वैश्विक रेगुलेशन को लेकर हमें मिलकर काम करना चाहिए। डीप फेक समाज के लिए, व्यक्ति के लिए कितना खतरनाक है, इसकी गंभीरता को समझते हुए हमें आगे बढ़ना होगा। हम चाहते हैं कि AI should reach the people and it must be safe for the society. इसी अप्रोच के साथ भारत में अगले महीने ग्लोबल AI पार्टनरशिप समिट आयोजित की जा रही है। मुझे विश्वास है कि आप सभी इसमें भी सहयोग देंगे।
Well, that's a wrap from my side here on this edition of Nation at 5. Thank you so much for tuning in.
There's been a lot of anticipation of centuries really that has been building up as the Ram temple gets completed. And come January 22nd, there's going to be a row of people that is going to throng the small city of Ayodhya once again. The city itself is gearing up to be able to take the load of thousands and lakhs of people coming to take their darshan once the Ram Lalla Murti is consecrated in the new Ram temple. It's been a struggle of 500 years to see the Ram temple being constructed at the very Ram Janmasthan where I am standing today. And it's been litigation of over 70 years to have this dream come true for over 80 crore Indians, but many more devotees across the world. The Ram temple is finally a reality. With that, it marks a seminal moment in